India's ability to keep petrol prices stable while global markets fluctuate sharply reflects a policy structure that creates fiscal flexibility for the government. Over the past few weeks, several major economies such as the US and Germany have experienced higher costs at the pump. In contrast, Indian pump prices have remained unchanged since 2022. This stability is not accidental, it is built into the country's tax architecture. Fuel in India carries some of the highest retail taxes in the world, with central and state levies often accounting for 40 to 50% of the final price. While this structure is frequently criticized for placing a heavy burden on consumers, it also creates fiscal flexibility for the government. When global crude prices are relatively moderate, such as around $70 to $80 per barrel, these taxes generate significant revenue. That revenue effectively becomes a buffer when crude prices rise sharply. The government can reduce the tax component or allow public sector oil marketing companies to temporarily absorb part of the cost rather than passing the full increase to consumers. At the same time, India has quietly reshaped its crude supply network to reduce exposure to geopolitical choke points, especially around the Strait of Hormuz. Since 2022, imports from Russia have expanded significantly. In more recent years, additional volumes increasingly arrive from the US, Brazil, and Guyana. That essentially means India has broadened its supply base beyond traditional West Asian sources. Alternative maritime routes, including longer passages around the Cape of Good Hope, along with export hubs such as Yanbu and Fujairah, help bypass some of the most sensitive shipping corridors. Even with these measures, the system has limits. Analysts generally consider crude prices near $140 per barrel to be the point at which India's fiscal buffer would be exhausted. At that level, tax reductions alone would not offset the shock. It could place pressure on both the government's budget and the value of the rupee. For now, however, India's high tax fuel regime functions as a form of insurance, providing room to shield domestic consumers from sudden global disruptions.